Falcons right here. They're running across the bridge to do it. It is just Waltzy left for Falcons, who would really love to hold on to this winner's bracket spot, but it's looking impossible.
Yeah, Falcons right now running for their life to make sure they don't fall into the other lobby downstairs. And now Waltzy trying his best, you know, but he's getting chased down by Furia slowly but surely. Will he run into Furia or will he run into the other teams on edge, also rotating in currently?
I think Furia are going to give up the chase. Waltzy's gone a pretty far distance.
Oh.
And never mind! Vaxlon arrives from the sky. He's looking. He hasn't found him yet. He hasn't found him. Waltzy's getting out. Waltzy's going back for the banners.
Oh, he's actually making it. That was a great rat play. He actually waited for them to keep going to the opposite side, and now he's just full on sprinting. He actually managed to get both banners, and let's see if he can find a way to get them back in. He does have a Moby, but if he pops that too early, other teams will most definitely look to punish that. However, if he can make it to maybe a taller building where there's an upper floor, things could happen for a good reset.
I thought he was cooked. But no. This would be what an incredible comeback it would be for Waltzy to get the rest of the team back in. At this point, just surviving is enough for Falcons.
Oh!
As the respawn goes off, Gaming Gladiators find them. Waltzy is down, but Falcons are still respawning. They've got to survive Gaming Gladiators. Can they do it? As Hal and Z-o-o jump out of the dropship, Z-o-o is history, and Hal hits the floor, immediately picks him up. Furia are here to say thanks, but no thanks. And Imperial Hal goes down. Team Falcons are out. And Furia secure their spot over Team Falcons on Sunday. Falcons currently sitting in 10th are almost sure to lose their spot, are almost sure to be playing out of Elim round 2.
They would need four or more teams to not get any points at all to pass them, when we're only talking about 3 points, 6 points, 8 points. You know, the likelihood of them going into the lower bracket is very high. However, on the other side of things, you know, Furia got a few amount of points. Shopify Rebellion still in it to make it. A lot of these teams are looking to solidify their spot at the top 10.
100 Thieves dodging in and out of Arc Stars. It is not looking good for them as the pressure is really on in E-District. Timmy's gonna get to pop a bat down low. I do wonder about whether this roster, much like I was thinking about Falcons earlier, I do wonder whether they'll really be able to survive. 100 Thieves are in 12th right now, so survival does mean quite a bit as they are right on the cusp of being able to overtake a team like Falcons.
Yeah, and I mean, we also see the zone pull on the map. Timmy getting chased down by Lions, 100 Thieves gets eliminated on 12th spot, I believe. So they are also going down into the lower bracket. Alliance, however, almost got punished here by VP, as VP is still in it. They might have been 20th, but they are racking up kills right now.
That's another one. Another big point going to Virtus Pro. Now they're still sitting in 19th. But every kill, every point is gonna matter. I don't know, man. this miracle run, I mean, it's building, but it would have to be something else. It would have to be an inhuman game from Virtus Pro. I can't bring myself to deny it, but I can't be sitting here and telling you it's likely.
I'm not saying it's likely, but there's a possibility when you have that roster. Fnatic fighting Furia.
This means the world of Fnatic. Furia just looking for the extra points. Yuka F drops down, and it's Madness that's going to fall first. Trade on Leica, though, as Greenstego get involved. Backslot trades back onto Yuka F, and it's just Meltstera, who would sure love to take out Furia. But it's getting shot from above by Greenstego. The melee doesn't connect. Furia take out Fnatic, and Fnatic will be playing from Elim round 2.
Fnatic also going out early, needing to reload that shotgun was the saddest point I've seen. Reminded me of yesterday. However, Virtus Pro still alive and thriving, shooting at Alliance toes from underneath the bridge.
Furia are the reapers of this lobby.
They are.
The teams that are on the line, the teams that have almost made it. Furia are finding them and they are deleting them. Shopify Rebellion could be next on the list. They are right there. They are on the cusp of making it into the finals. And you know that that's going to draw Furia to you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everybody's looking to throw hands at this last game because now it's do or die for a lot of these teams. And you know as well, a lot of the teams that are on the bottom are still alive. None of them are scared to try to get more points because that's what they need if they want to make it through. It's either minimum 15 kills or more, or we're gonna go into the lower brackets. What really do they have to lose?
It's true. I mean, you've got to try something, and I think to the credit of a lot of our teams, they are trying things. Whether or not they are succeeding, it is really just a matter of running your face into the wall enough times for some of these squads. Go next. I think feeling like that right now, they do have to move, but in the next couple of seconds.
And this is the thing, we see the zone in the top left of the map as well. It's actually ending between the bridge and the building, where currently EXO, Cloud9 and Aurora are coexisting. Huge fights are gonna be across this bridge and underneath this bridge. As we see right now, Go Next actually lost 2 people to, I believe,
Virtus Pro.
Yeah, VP again showing up on the kill feed. They have nothing to lose, and they're saying, we can frag. We might not have done it before this game, but we might as well do it this game.
I mean, Izzedan's still alive, but the reality is that's 2 points. If Virtus Pro can finish them, and they can, that have just gone to them. Virtus Pro moving up to 18th, still so far to go, but I'm noticing Lou's got a Kraber, so, you know, maybe that'll help them out a bit. Izzedan's still very low. Virtus Pro could find this last kill, as I believe they've spotted Izzedan, but haven't actually jumped up to finish this just yet. Instead, they're gonna move up to the high ground. They are jumping on top of Alliance. Virtus Pro challenge Alliance for the high ground. It's just Lou left, but Alliance is already gone.
VP takes out Alliance with a surprise jump up on their bridge, however fell down, trying to go for the reset, found the solo as well. That could be another kill if they manage to survive this mayhem that's about to unfold, as Complexity is triple staring right at me.
And Izzedan strikes back. Go Next, managing to survive for that long. Now have taken out both Slayer and Zach Mazer. So Virtus Pro, who were on this huge run, now sit in 18th as Go Next will unfortunately go down. But Go Next, pretty safe for now. They're not safe, they're pretty safe in 8th.
Depending on how much the scores move up, they might just have made it themselves into the next round. Gaming Gladiators as well on 43, as Go Next was on 44, I believe. Right now, it's coming down to light to make sure they stay up at this game, because 10 teams alive in Zone 6 closing. It's crazy.
That was it, the point. MT taking out Lufka has pushed Shopify Rebellion into 10th. If Shopify Rebellion can hold on to this, they will be punching their ticket to Championship Sunday. Cloud9 sitting in 12th, right behind Falcons right now. By the way, Falcons, having dropped to 11th off of that, will absolutely be seen in Elim Round 2.
Yeah, Cloud9 also on the cusp of making it past that. Virtus Pro is actually eliminated. They tried for the miracle run. They did a good effort.
They did a good.
Couldn't try and make it, but we saw signs of life. If they can bring that energy into the next round, that'll be good for them.
There's got to be hope for Virtus Pro. I think it's a sobering moment, but they were cooking something. Gaming Gladiators getting some friends back into the game to hold on to their 9th place position right now. They could absolutely still survive this game. Well, you know other teams are already on the hunt. Blast's gonna make it down to the floor safely. But they're being shot at from the bridge. EXO right above them, Aurora right above them as well. What a sobering moment it must be to realize that Aurora, terror of EMEA, sits right above you. With Gaming Gladiators, they've held that title, but right now, they've got to play small like they didn't.
Koiful, MT, and Sino sitting quite safely here. The zone does end in front of them. What I'm mainly looking for here, though, is the bridge, because that point and on top of the roof will be the 2 teams that will look down and shoot everyone, right? And as we see Shopify Rebellion getting naded out, as all the top teams are now pushing their attention to them. Teams, however, inside of the building, sitting quite comfortably because the zone ends quite near them.
Shopify Rebellion could be in a spot to win this game, but on low ground, it's going to be a really tough one. Frag right on the outside. Liquid Alienware going to go down. That leaves them in 7th. Shopify Rebellion attempting to survive. Currently hold the 10th place spot and are climbing over the wall. Gaming Gladiators to take on Furia, but Furia are striking back. Furia, who have called so many. Madness takes out Lufka, and Gaming Gladiators are out. Furia take down another.
They take down another as well, ending their run a little bit early. Could they have made it? I don't know. Cloud9, however, still aiming with 37 points right now. They're pushing for it. They're pushing for top 10. Shopify on 41. 2 teams that are trying their best to make it as Sorcerer goes down.
Shopify Rebellion, they've moved into 10th. How much further can they make it? Now that C9 has lost a member, Shopify Rebellion, this could be their game. Right now, looking over the wall at Furia, the Reapers of the lobby. They take out Shopify Rebellion. Furia shutting down another, have have left things open for Cloud9. Now with Furia going down, Cloud9 out. It's just going to be Keon left, and Aurora coming in. Sea Guild in the ring. Oirain's still alive, still with the prayer of this Mastiff gonna go down, and it's Aurora who take the final win. First place in Winners Round 1, sending themselves to Sunday as the beasts they are.
I thought the team on top of the bridge could have been one of the teams closing it out. However, Aurora on the building where the storm pretty much ended at, held the rooftop, dropped down and killed everybody. I even think they took out a member of C9 at the club before they closed out that game. They've had a phenomenal run in this series. I believe that pushes them up almost 100 points, dominating. You know, this sends a statement into the final rounds. We say, in a good lobby, we are owning. We're owning right now. You guys better be prepared for us because we are going as #1 into Championship Sunday.
I mean, there is a reason why they have been known as beasts in EMEA. The fact that Gaming Gladiators were sitting below them, knowing that Aurora were up on high ground of all things. 19 points for Aurora, 12 points for Guild. Let's talk about the Reapers of this last lobby. Furia, 26 points.
26 points, you might say. 19 kills is what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
They took out team after team. And not only did they take out the teams, they actually took out the teams that were struggling to make top 10. They were on their tournament lives in this round, you know, and it was rough.
All right, Graceful, it's time. These are your teams that will be moving on to Championship Sunday. Aurora clearly have made it. Enter Force 36, Guild, Furia, Alliance, TSM, Liquid Alienware, Gaming Gladiators, Go Next to make it, and Shopify Rebellion having swooped in at the last moment to take that Falcons spot, pushing Falcons and below into Elim Round 2.
So many teams made it, so many teams didn't make it. Cloud9, Falcons, and 100 Thieves really close. Only, you know, one little better fight there. If we didn't lose that fight there, they would have been in. However, those top 10 are all looking strong, as have had their moments, and even Shopify made it at the end from the waters. But the one I'm looking for most, you know, Aurora always makes me happy. They've showed their true form in this tournament.
This has been one of Aurora's best lands so far.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm shocked by what we've already seen by Aurora, and I'm really happy for them because this comes off the back of them traditionally struggling to perform at LAN.
Yeah.
So the fact that, I don't know what it is because they're from Europe, but the fact that we're in Japan seems to be helping somehow.
They have been, you know, I think they're one of the teams that have been working really well with their community across the world, Japan included. I've seen a lot, I think I've seen even a little bit of Japanese tweets and whatnot, you know,
yeah.
Who knows? And I think that they are loved by everyone. Not only because of how kind and nice they are, and very cute as well, but because of how good they are. They have been phenomenal, and they've shown it in these tournaments. Throughout the whole thing, they might have had a little bit of a break, let's just say that. But if they can keep this form up, they could even take this whole thing home.
Aurora Socials are going to have a field day.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have a really good time. They have had a fantastic run in the winners bracket, and I mean, congratulations to Aurora. I think that they're going to be going into Championship Sunday with a lot of confidence, and the best part is the confidence or not, which they will have, they're also going to have the best draft position.
Yeah, that is true.
That's
Drafting
huge.
is very important because now you're dictating the pace of the game.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you're wondering whether or not, hey, can I play this in this lobby? Will I get what I get normally for free? Will my macro work the same way? But when you're coming in first, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, this was amazing from Aurora. I gotta give love to Liquid Alienware as well. Guild have done a really fantastic job of pulling themselves together, and I think a lot of our top 10 teams really did show us a different face than they did in the group stage, as this tournament is ever changing. The level is constantly evolving, and to talk to us a little bit more about that, I'm gonna hand it to the folks that I love and trust some of the most in this stadium. Rain Day, that's over to you.
Thank you, buddy. Dia, Graceful, fantastic job closing out our winners round. And it means that 10 teams are headed to Sunday. They get to rest, they get to relax, they get to recoup, and they get to wait while they set up to do an eventual draft to pick those spots, which now they have the top 10 places to choose from. What an exciting end to this one, guys. It came down to a nail biter. Rain Jamerson and Jayhawk here back. Jamerson, Falcons just not making it. Shopify Rebellion pull out the win at the end. You know, it's as close as ever, but these are the little things that sometimes determine a champion.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, especially if you look at the middle of the pack right there on that bubble, how close every single team was. It was just a matter of a few placements, a matter of a kill here or kill there. You're going to be rethinking a lot of those positions and a lot of the past fights, but hopefully, you know, they can move past that because we still have so much Apex ahead of us.
One thing that we were talking about earlier, there has never been a winner of an ALGS LAN that has come from elimination brackets. They've started in winners, they've stayed in winners. This is not boding well for Falcons, but maybe they can be the ones to rewrite history.
I mean, when we talk about history, those are the guys that know a lot about it. Those are the dynasties that we're talking about. I mean, Hal, when we talk about last year's championship coming from the depths of that lobby, you would have think they had no advancement points and they came from losers with the way that they started off in that one. So there hasn't been one yet, but I really do think it's only a matter of time, and maybe it could be them.
I mean, we see a lot of, I've used this word before, parity in this tournament because we've really seen teams step up to another level of play. They've had the ability to practice this meta, and this meta has almost given people a lot of minute things that are making the differences. There's not this huge scale across from one level of skill to the very bottom, until we start looking at a team like Aurora, which has clearly figured something out. They are, by and large, the most dominant team in this lobby. That's saying something, and now this is looking like a favorite for this tournament.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I put the proper disclaimer here. I am giving all due respect to Aurora, but you do have to realize that they have been gifted a lot of zones, right? They don't get the zones right on top of them, but they do have a lot of priority for the rotates, and they've been doing a fantastic job of actually managing that. If we take a look across all the maps, if they had to run cross map, those were their worst maps. Now, if they had to drop basically one POI or two POIs over, they were more than set to set themselves up for success. I'm not saying that it's just because of the zones, because they are managing that mid game extremely well. We were talking about how strong they are, coming in for the third parties on the zone 3, zone 4, making sure that their soft side is cleared out, and they don't really have to worry about that. But taking a look again, Storm Point, they got that pull over down towards over down to Coast, right? Coming up from Echo HQ, they are able to play off of that, get first place. Second map, they were able to, I believe, navigate that barometer end zone, getting themselves a 7th place finish, but a lot of kills along the way. Again, clearing out that side to try and ultimately get success. Match number 4, I believe that's when we swapped on over towards World's Edge. Survey Camp down towards Landslide. Very easy rotate for them. They cleared out TSM on that eastern side, on the third party, and we're able to finish off there. And then match number 5, that was, of course, Survey down towards north side monument off the train tracks. Again, very easy prio for them, very easy execution in being able to utilize that prio.
I mean, to play devil's advocate here, and Jay, I want to get your ideas on this. It's not that they're just winning. Maybe they were gifted a few zones, right? But they're also doing it in a way that's different than Interforce might have had a zone, but they got second place with no kills. There's 7 kills, there's 10 kills, there's 8 kills, there's 11 kills. There are 2 goose eggs, which is going to happen, but most of the time, they're putting up points regardless of if they end up in that final circle. That's what makes them so deadly, I think, right now.
Absolutely. They've been a team, and I actually got to talk to Ninepulse about this a few weeks ago. They've been one of the key innovators with the Edge playstyle over the years. I mean, I was talking in the green room with Graceful about this, that think back to a year ago, they would get zone and just want to leave. They didn't want to take that prio like Jamerson is talking about. So this is an evolution of Aurora. They have learned, okay, if we do want to start winning, because we're great at fighting, when we get these zones, we have to take advantage of them. And although sometimes zone RNG does go in a team's favor, every single team that has won a LAN, the game they won it on, except for Reject Winity, the POI was not far away that it ended from. And so you have to be able to capitalize on those games, and Aurora now has the first overall pick, so they get to choose the POIs that they're hoping can put them in a position to capitalize.
All right, I want to switch gears to a team I've been highlighting. We talked about midway through and a little bit in between. Shopify Rebellion come in and find that 10th place, but they're close to dropping out of losers. The team that was clearly cemented in the position to go to winners was none other than Guild, with Phony, Jesco, and Legacy. talk to me about what this team is doing well. I'll start with you, go back to it, Jay, because Guild has hit a stride. I mean, this is not a team we would have expected to be top 5, but they're top 3, and they're doing even better than that, and they seem to not be slowing down. What is it about them?
We just talked about evolution with Aurora. I do think this is evolution from all 3 of these players, because when I look back on Phony's career, he has typically struggled in the bracket stage. He's one of the best match point IGLs I really do believe in the world. I mean, he's proven it. He's won.
Clearly. But
a lot of those runs with FaZe Clan, in even SSG, they were going down to losers, and that required them to find, you know, what the last things they have within themselves to make it into the finals, and then they perform. All of a sudden, Phony has not had that issue the last 2 lands, and the same thing goes for Legacy and Jesco. These 2 guys coming out of Australia, I do think are a little unknown to the general audience, but they've placed 11th, 9th, and 5th at the 3 lands that they have played at. That's big time for guys who are relatively new to the land stage.
That is absolutely true. You have to put that together. It's kind of a sneaky, you know, almost 2 top 10s and right outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about them that way, but we're certainly going to now. I say these players drive the narrative. We try to do it. We really ride it, though, because Guild has made us consider them a threat. They made the entire lobby consider them a big threat as well. Let's walk you through those final circles. I know we saw you after 6, but there were 2 games that occurred right then. Jamerson, I'll kick it off with you with match 7 to catch us back up.
Yeah, this is, I believe, a Heights ending, and honestly, the pace of the games were incredibly accelerated, but this was a difficult fight for all 3 teams because it ended up here on the Viaduct or Canal. I don't know exactly what we've decided to name this one. Aqueduct, maybe? And so there was plenty of cover to play off of, but I think it was the catalyst that really came into basically creating a lot of chaos, also having the spikes down that I believe 2 out of the 3 teams had here at the end. We had a lot of delay going on, but ultimately this was a very important game for Go Next, because without this, I don't know exactly where they would have stood, but it would have been close. They would have been close on the bubble without this win.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they are only 2 points away, and a Cloud9, you know, 2nd place higher finish from being into losers bracket, because it was Shopify Rebellion who were at 42. They were at 44, and Cloud9 with a win would have pushed themselves past both of those numbers. But Jay, here it is, game number 8. Aurora found themselves in a great spot, still repping that Mirage on 9 Impulse, and found a way to win.
Yeah, we get a draft point ending, and like Jamerson said, Aurora has been doing really well when it comes to taking prio spots. They get the high ground, and as you can see here, they're able to hold it. The Gibby ult comes out, all the teams on the low ground are distracted, all killing each other. Aurora is able to get the last Gibby bubble down. Everybody's already seen each other, that's who they're focusing on. A team dropping from the sky, that's new information that you have to react to. Everybody else isn't able to do it effectively, and when you get to an endgame, you see right there, Oirain, the last Gibby ult after all the bubbles dissipate. The Mirage ult coming out to distract everyone. The wall coming down to boot people into zone. Aurora finishes it off in style with a big clutch.
They've certainly been untouchable in this series. We've seen little moments of this, and not so long ago we mentioned Hardeki, who we always want to send our love to. He's passed on in terms of other games and doing his own thing, but this was the team that prioritized and kind of invented Lifeline coming into the meta. Now Lifeline, totally new character, but these were the ones who did it. So Pioneers in their right, is this the time they get it done? Well, I want to know what Lace is thinking, because she's standing by with a player who just got themselves into this winners, and they'll be feeling happy about that. Lace, how's MT doing?
Yo, we have MT here from Shopify Rebellion. You must be feeling pretty darn good. You have made it into the match point finals. Now, take us through the last matches. What did you guys need to improve on to get you to this point?
Honestly, I don't think there was anything we really needed to improve on. We made some small mistakes throughout the whole winners bracket that cost us big games. And we said going into last game, we're the best team. We just got to do exactly what we're doing and just close out the game. And that's just what we did.
Yes, and MT did tell me that he quickly checked Battlefire just to double check that they were actually a match point. So, you know what, you guys did a fantastic job. Now, you obviously have to go up against some pretty deadly opponents. What are you guys going to improve and work on when you hit match point finals? What do you think these other teams are basically going to bring to the table that you guys need to match?
Honestly, I think if we just play with the same confidence we always play with, that's all that's going to matter. Like, we take more fights than anybody else, look for more fights, and if we just keep doing that, people aren't going to be ready for it in finals, and I reckon we'll just show up.
And of course, MT, is there anything you want to say to your fans? Obviously, you have a fair few out there. If there's any shout-outs you want to do, make sure you do it right now.
Thank you, everybody, for the support. Really appreciate it.
Excellent. So MT Shopify Rebellion is in match point for Sundays. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Lace. MT says we take more fights than anybody else, and they've proven it. That last fight they took got them into winners. And the difference between going from your bracket, your group, into winners and then going into match point finals is that you play pretty much 2 sets less than most people. That could be a good thing. It could also be a bad thing when it comes to Sunday, because the teams we're going to see now, guys, are going to have a lot of reps. It's scary to do it, but if you get out like Falcons, like Fnatic, like Crazy Raccoon, which are coming up, which are still threats in this tournament, they're going to have maybe a few more chances to figure out the things that weren't working for them in this one. Jamerson, your final thoughts here as we turn it over and get ready for Elimination Round 2.
Yeah, honestly, it's so surprising the results that we've had across the day and already here in the winners bracket, as we see so many teams that we were expecting to do so much better, right? Crazy Raccoons, Fnatic, so many teams have been dropped down now. Falcons even, down to the lower bracket. And you were telling me something special about, I believe, Waltzy coming in to this?
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Waltzy for a long time has been the only player to have qualified for every LAN over the last 3 years and never gone to losers. And yet here he is, unfortunately, teaming with the 2 greatest players of all time, and yet he has now found himself in the losers bracket.
One of the stories that we will certainly be following, and it just makes the drama that much better. Coming up in just a little bit at 4:30, we will be going into our POI draft, which will set the stage for Elimination Round 2. The players will have about 5 or 10 minutes right now to adjust. It's not long, but it is important. It's vital, in fact, for their survival. Elim Round 2 will then begin with 8 more matches after that, and it will go on until we have our top 10 teams that will join the 10 who were in our top 10 of this group for match point finals on Sunday. The bottom 10 of this upcoming bracket will be going home. It's always a sad day to send teams who have worked all year long to get to this very moment, but that's why it's so important that they seize it. Everyone, if you're watching at home, maybe get a little bit of water, but don't go too far, because in just a moment, we'll be right back with more POI Draft. That's been your winners round. Congratulations to those who have made it on in Sapporo, but the action continues. We'll see you soon.
If they are going to lose one, and TSM manages to survive. It's the last kill, massive win. They finally drop down. It will be go next.
Pressure? I mean, of course there's pressure, but he's gonna show up. All he cares about is winning. It doesn't matter how bad it sounds or how brutal it is.
That's what it takes. When you've accomplished what he's accomplished, anything less than first place is not good enough.
All the outside noise, the opinions, it doesn't faze him.
2022 saw a return to the international stage. And with it, the NA Giants were expected to reclaim the title of the best team in the world.
I didn't think any of the regions honestly knew what was going to happen until we got to Sweden.
When we were coming up, no one really believed in us. Nobody saw it coming.
Wide left flank, and then just like that, Reignite is gonna do it. They are your champions. Australia comes all the way to Europe and wins. Dome Shield is placed, and now Dark Zero is going to be your champions of the Apex Legends Global Series. Back to back. They're taking damage, but no! Here comes Zero! Zero! The captain! The IGL to send it back down under! Match point specialists!
2024, the dynasties have finally fallen.
And DC have this entire side to the circle to themselves.
They've actually got that. Zero goes down to Coiful.
It's up to them, but they take out Dark Zero. We are going on.
It's a massive moment for Apex. It's a huge moment for Apex North.
In response, Zero and Imperial Hal teamed up to form what many called the Super Team. But their attempt at stopping the bleeding fell short. The world had caught up.
But Team Falcons, a team that's slightly been struggling now.
It looks like Falcons will be eliminated, and indeed they are. Another dud game for them.
I mean, if you want to talk about momentum, there is a complete lack of inertia for the Super Team.
Zero's just gone down. Zero's gone down. Trying to do what he can, but Falcons' bad day continues. But SSG will become your champions here in Germany. The team that was dubbed the second Super Team when it came together.
Split 1, they narrowly lost. Split 2 was a complete collapse.
Another failure at Champs, and Year 4 may be the first in which Zero does not lift a trophy. The pressure is mounting.
I think he does feel pressure. I think he puts most of it on himself, though.
He feels pressure, but it doesn't really affect his performance.
I think the reason that he kind of seems like he doesn't feel it is because of how hard he works. Yeah, he's ruthless.
Everyone can say what they want, you know, everyone can think what they want, but at the end of the day, I know I'm going to be the one lifting that trophy. You'll see.
ごめん、俺ぶっ飛んだ。
皆さんこんにちは、ゆきおです。今日は欧米の友達にいたずらしちゃいます。
ori ori ori. No pero, no pet.
No. 俺より
Ole yori.
より yes, yes.
Okay, hold on, give me a second. Ole yori, ole no, petto no hoga kawaii yo.
Oh,
No.
かわいいよ
Kawaii yo.
Yes, yes, yes.
Kawaii
Yes,
yo.
yes.
Ole yori, ole no petto no hoga kawaii yo.
Oh, yes. So good. This one? 優しい
優しい
優しいやつは
やつは
結局
結局
勝てないんだよ。
勝てないんだよ。
Yes.
勝てないんだよ。
Yes, yes, yes.
優しいやつは結局勝てないんだよ。
Perfect. リンゴと
と
バナナ
バナナ
を
を
食べて
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 食べて食べる
食べる
のが
のが
好きです。
好きです。
ああ、いやいやいや。
Okay. リンゴとバナナを食べて食べて食べて食べるのが好きです。
Perfect. Good.
Ushi-san ga momo date. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, good.
Ushi-san ga momo date.
Good.
Thank you.
I teach you.
Okay.
Yes.
プリプリ
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 3枚と
3枚と
2ヒットだぜ。
ヒットだぜ。
Yes, 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 yes.
プリプリ3枚と2ヒット
だぜ。
だぜ。
Yes, perfect.
Okay. プリプリ3枚と2ヒットだぜ。
Oh.
Is it good?
Good.
Actually, Yukio has something he needs to show you.
Oh no, me?
Yeah.
Oh no. Are you proposing?
Look this. No.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
What is it? More? Okay.
First.
Oh.
Yes, yes, yes.
What?
Same me.
That's what I've been saying?
Yeah, same me.
You're so funny.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Have you seen my pets?
No, no.
No?
But I think you are cute.
Me?
Yes. I think.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I love you.
What is this?
Read this.
Okay. Is that what I just read?
Yeah.
Nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
It's not true.
No, true.
No.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. In Japanese.
Oh. I didn't even realize.
食べて
Tabete is eat.
Eat. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like so confused. Like, why is there banana in here? No, you guys did a good job of like hiding it, but I was just confused. What is this?
Yeah. Same me. In Japanese.
Mumu says the gal.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'm like 0% understanding Japanese.
This means I hit a fatty samite.
I was thinking I don't recognize any of these words. That's messed up.
Yeah,
That's messed up.
no promotion.
I gotta get you back then. Surprise.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Wigan Greek here, and we are joined by our good friend F-chan from Reignite. We've taken a quick trip here to the Karamatsu restaurant to try some local food, learn some Japanese, and talk all things ALGS.
All right, so we're gonna get right into it. There's a lot of traditional food here for us to try.
Can you teach us how to hold chopsticks properly?
Oh, okay. Like this. この薬指をこう。まず上の端を。
I can't. My wrist doesn't do
Oh, I
it.
think I got it.
下を
No shot. Really?
いただきます。
Could you give us one useful Japanese phrase that we should know being here?
Don't troll us, man.
すみません、日本語わかりません。
I'm sorry, I don't understand Japanese.
Did the announcement of ALGS coming to Japan motivate you even more to qualify for champs?
そうですね。スプリット1、スプリット2出れてなくて、そこからの日本開催っていう発表だったんで、もうこれは出るしかないと。めちゃくちゃモチベーションは LCQ に向けてのモチベーションはめちゃくちゃ上がりましたね。
Cheers.
I'm not a cheese guy, so we'll see how this goes.
Cheers.
Oh, come on, that's good. We saw you get emotional through the qualifiers when you qualified through the LCQs. What was going through your mind in the moment of qualifying?
本当にこのまま世界大会出れなかったら正直引退かなっていう感じはしてたので、本当に出れてなんか、もういろんなものが湧き上がりましたね。
How does it feel to be back playing on the biggest stage possible this year?
これ以上今後もう世界大会出れないんじゃないかと思ってたんで、出れるのが決まった時はちょっと泣いちゃいましたね。そんくらいめちゃくちゃ嬉しいです。はい。
Hell yeah, yeah, we love that. Now that you qualified, what do you hope to achieve this event? Like, what's your number one goal being here in Sapporo?
ウィックもグリークもスクリームは見てたと思うんで、僕らの成績がどれだけ悪いかは多分分かってると思うんですけど、それでもやっぱり日本開催ってこともあるので、現実的な目標として決勝は絶対出たいなっては思ってます。
Finals.
Very good.
Yes. Finals, good. I like that goal. Your signature move is this. Can you show us right now and also explain why you do it?
なんか僕が単純にガリガリだけど筋肉見せるみたいなちょっとなんかそのギャップというかなんかそれがちょっと面白いかなと思って。
Everybody loves it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love it so much. Ready?
Yes.
All right. Oh my God.
So F-chan, over the years you've had a few different teammates. We want to know who is your favorite teammate you've ever had and why?
好きって言い方もあれですけど、めちゃくちゃ尊敬してて、別にこれまで組んできたチームメイトみんな全然好きなんですけど、誰か一人って選ぶのであれば、チームユナイトとパルブレックスの時に組んでたレジェッタ。
I haven't heard that name in a long time. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, F-chan. Best of luck to you at Champs, and thank you so much to everyone tuning in, and we will see you in Sapporo.
Origin or TSM, who will be your champions?
In the moment, I really couldn't believe that it happened.
Portal out here for TSM. 5 seconds and counting.
I still was kind of in shock.
What we're worried about is they're just a setback here for TSM. Who is going to do it? TSM.
It's kind of crazy being thrown straight from being a nobody to a somebody so fast.
And you're winners of the Apex Legends preseason Invitational.
When you're walking out onto stage to go lift that trophy with your teammates, nothing really compares to that. Nothing sets you up for the overwhelming emotion that's gonna hit you. Winning really early, all eyes are on you constantly. The feeling of what now kind of turned itself into self-destructiveness. After the LAN, I didn't really know what to do. And then COVID hit, and that feeling just got even more intense. Losing the opportunity of playing at LAN and not knowing when that will ever come back completely destroyed my mental at the time. I just became very angry and distant to everybody. The way that I was feeling at that time basically led to the destruction of that TSM roster. That really led to the basically free fall between a bunch of different rosters. I kept trying to find some kind of stability and right feeling with a team. And it took a really long time to try to find that. Reflecting on a lot of the mistakes that I made with my previous rosters kind of showed me that I needed to just stop trying to be the hero of the teams and give my teammates the trust that I want them to have in me. I think what's special about Stallions is that we all kind of fit into our role properly. Guri is very much like the glue of the roster. He keeps things lighthearted. Crook, he's quiet but chill and very level-headed. I'm the more serious one, I guess. Success in this tournament would mean everything to us. Going into this LAN, we're unsigned. Crook still works a normal job. Polo does too. If we're successful, then orgs have their eyes on us. For me personally, success in this tournament would kind of show me that it wasn't all for nothing. The amount of hardship and struggling that I personally have been through the past couple years. It'd just be really self-fulfilling for me to know that it was all worth it.
Welcome back to Sapporo in Daiwa House. One of the most anticipated things of the day is about to occur. But before we get to our elimination round 2 and set up our match point finals for tomorrow, we are going to have to draft some POIs. That is why we have a brand new POI draft show. If you haven't caught it before, we'll get you caught up on how it works. But I want to introduce ourselves. I'm your host, Rain Day, alongside Jamerson, Jayhawk, and Dia, who will be joining us on the desk. We'll have plenty of time to talk to them, but let me catch you up on the format. The teams who are qualifying will have a chance to select their POI. First, we'll go first. Second, we'll go second. We'll continue on, and then when all the teams pick, first will go again. They'll go 21st, essentially. So they'll keep resetting and picking in the same order. They're going to pick across all 3 maps, and we're going to do it live right now. If you skip, it'll go to the next team. It'll come right back to you, but if you see TBD, it just means that they have selected on a different map. The maps we're going to be playing are World's Edge for the first 3, then E-District, and then Storm Point. So E-District will be the map that only has 2, so teams that prioritize that, well, they might be cooking with something special, or maybe they just don't know, which is a real thing that did happen before yesterday. But guys, let's get started with it. The first few picks have arrived. 100 Thieves currently picking. Cloud9 just finished going for Cedo Station.
Yeah, importantly, Team Falcons coming in with the first pick here, and they had priority on their pick over Fnatic. Fnatic, in the last draft, ended up picking Elrod first, but this time around, Team Falcons with that prio, go ahead and take Elrod away. That's going to force Fnatic down to Barometer, so almost a swapping in positions between these 2 teams here on Storm Point.
Interesting to note between, obviously, 2 powerhouses, and for those who are wondering, Falcons, having just played, coming out of winners, will have the first pick overall. Orglis and Hungry, who dominated yesterday, unfortunately will be picking 11th because they were coming out of elimination round 1. So just to be aware of that, in case you were confused as to why they're so low in the pick order.
Absolutely. I do want to point out, we just had, I believe, 7 picks in a row go on Storm Point to start off this draft. We get our first one, Complexity, taking E-District, which I'm a little confused about because, like you said, E-District is only being played for 2 of the maps. I know there was some confusion in the drafts yesterday as to the players knowing which map was going to be the one that's 2, so I am hoping this is a strategical decision as opposed to a potential mistake.
Oh, I mean, also it's City Hall, which I think is equally surprising to me, at least.
E-District, Dia, you just came off casting it. I mean, Falcons obviously didn't do well. They didn't qualify. Yep. They got a few points, maybe 6 or 7, I feel like, on that map, the line share coming from other places. So what do you feel has been the benefit of prioritizing E-District for some of these teams? Have you seen any?
I think that there is a small but measurable one. It's nothing like Storm Point, certainly.
Yeah.
I think that even if you're only playing 2 maps of Storm Point, prioritizing Storm Point is still probably a good idea, just because of how different the POIs play.
Yeah.
Whereas on E-District, I do think you have a lot more wiggle room. I think that's that's less true when you're playing from the edge, though. Like, especially if you're looking up towards the north of E-District, especially around Lotus and the surrounding POIs, those, I would put super high priority on them personally.
Well, currently we're seeing not too many, but a few get selected in one of our most iconic, oldest maps, which is World's Edge. Virtus Pro and Envy finding 2 spots there already. Skyhook being taken, and Jayhawk, obviously.
I do want to point out, too, for Virtus Pro, World's Edge has been their worst map on the tournament. So, unfortunately for them, they are a little lower in the draft order, but it kind of works out because they get Sky West Trials, which has been an absolute monster of a POI throughout this tournament. We've seen what Alliance was able to do from that spot. And then the same goes for Envy. Once again, a little lower on the draft order, but the flip side for them, World's Edge is their best map. Over half their points have been coming from World's Edge, so they get Climatizer. That's big for them going into this lobby.
Well, and I think Climatizer works really well stylistically for Envy. I don't feel that way about Skyhook and Virtus Pro. Like, I think it's a good POI, but I don't think that Virtus Pro's play style leans as much into the strengths of Skyhook as somebody like Alliance.
Sure. Yeah, they're definitely not as aggressive as an Alliance is, but at the same time, maybe this is just them saying we got to take the best POI and hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you're trolling if you don't take it, but
yeah,
like, you know, it's just
GHS grabbing Humbert Labs and continuing to see very little prioritization of not only World's Edge, but of E-District. Stormpoint, the lion's share of the picks. We're seeing Team Burger and, of course, DSG finding some locations there to allow them to, I guess at this point, say, listen, we want to feel confident on this map. We're playing 3 games on it. We might as well. Team Burger, a team that barely made it into this lobby, so they'll have the 20th pick just at the very last minute. Were able to qualify. So it kind of leans into this other story of teams in desperation. It's a hard switch up to go from winners and then all of a sudden now be in this position where you're meeting a lot of teams who are already fighting for their lives. It's going to be a big switch up for the teams like Falcons, like Noctum, like Cloud9 to kind of feel this heat right now, Jamerson.
Yeah, and that's an interesting snipe coming out from Team Burger to be able to pick up Thermal Station off of World's Edge there, because we've been seeing 100 Thieves. They've been able to play out of it extremely well, but 100 Thieves putting the focus on trying to get better positioning on Stormpoint.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and give that one up. So Team Burger will have a lot of space to work with. We've had a lot of zones going down to thermal stations as well. So this could be possibly targeted to, hey, these zones have been coming down to the southwest side. We've got, what, maybe 4 or 5 thermal zones throughout the group stages and the elimination bracket so far. So this could work out in their favor if the ring starts pulling this way. We haven't really seen that because we have had more of the centralized zones coming out today, but they might be gifted some of those thermal zones and then convert on some points off of that.
Resetting back to our top picks again. So pick about 23 or so happening right now. Falcons ended up grabbing Stacks, so prioritizing World's Edge, and then right next to them, Fnatic went Launch Site. So those two juggernauts will be very close to each other in terms of rotations.
And I do want to talk about Falcons there because they now have Lightning Rod and Stacks, and having talked to Privacy, he's mentioned in this meta, the one thing that he really does feel like sets teams up for success is playing for 3rd or 4th beacon information. And so now they've got some of the best POIs when it comes to setting themselves up for that. You can rotate late, you're going to get a ton of loot with Stacks as well, mod nearby, pretty high chance that a ring console spawn at one of the 2. And so I really do think that Falcons has absolutely hit it out of the park with their first 2 picks.
Privacy was going to join us here, but obviously a shock that Falcons did not make it. So now he's with the team actually having these conversations, Jay. So it's going to be hopefully
I'm sure he's happy too with what they've just got.
Yeah, I mean that's the difference. The other day, you know, we were mentioning Don earlier was unhappy picking 3rd, but that's because Fnatic prioritized the same exact POIs that he wanted for his squad, Shopify Rebellion. It ended up actually being pretty difficult for him in that lobby, just barely crossing over into the winners and obviously match point finals.
Yeah, I mean, missing out on the POIs, especially, you know, the ones that you're planning on going for, is going to be really tough for a lot of teams, which is why being in the winners bracket is going to be so important. I'm already really worried about teams like Burger, which is why I'm happy to see them prioritizing thermal like they did earlier. Because otherwise, if you are going to be super low down in the pick order, you run the risk of running out of everything, especially if you're picking on the same map as everyone else. It's super important for those lower teams to differentiate their picks so that they at least have something later on, which is a huge benefit of now us drafting 3 maps instead of 2.
Yeah, I guess worst situation would be a 2-map best pick, right? But they're doing actually it on one of our 3 maps. So World's Edge, a very consistently played area. We've seen so many different championship caliber teams like Alliance play from there. So there is a blueprint on how to play Thermal Station. Not necessarily fully with E-District locations, Jamerson, but I think that's smart for Team Burger. Virtus Pro going Skyhook West, we mentioned that. Obviously, we are now in VK Gaming, who are on their current pick. They're going Skyhook East, so that's going to make things tight for Virtus Pro, but they should be able to split that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe VK Gaming are going to look to early fight anyhow.
Yeah.
So Virtus Pro shouldn't face any friction from VK Gaming there. VK Gaming are more than likely going to try and rotate out a little bit early on, get ahead of the pack, try to get into position for that Zone 3 rotate that a lot of teams are looking for, particularly get it off a scan there. One interesting thing about VP's pick, though, they decided to go 2nd pick here onto E-District, and I think that's because a lot of the heavy favorite picks off of Stormpoint, that early emphasis being put on it, had to force them to go into an E-District pick on their 2nd pick, which, again, it just isn't as strong because we're only playing it twice.
But at the same time, if you don't feel comfortable with a lot of the POIs that are on there, sometimes you just have to play the draft board. If you feel like you can get a really good POI like Lotus and then in those 2 games you pop off. It's only 1 extra game, and so I do kind of like the prioritization of playing the draft board as opposed to trying to force yourself into the map that does have 3 maps.
I mean, it's definitely this is a skill. This is a bit of there are going to be teams and coaches, and especially even players, strong IGLs, good game sense players, who are better at this than others, because you're not only navigating what you'd like to do, you're navigating what's available. I mean, you have to, at a moment's notice, make the best decision possible. It includes taking into account all of these other factors, and also sometimes being surprised. The pick that you might want could go the pick right before you, and then now everything has to be changed on the fly, otherwise you give up your pick. But so far, things are moving. Remember, we're picking 3 different times, 20 teams, so we should have about 60 picks here. We are at pick 40, with Dragons just taking Countdown and FaZe Clan on their current pick.
That's actually kind of an important one. Dragons going for Countdown. I was talking about VK Gaming going over towards Skyhook East meant not too much friction. You don't really have to worry about that. But now for VP, they have to worry about Dragons being ahead of them in a lot of this prio and trying to set up for, I would imagine, a lot of lurks against them. So now there is a lot of consideration. There's a lot of congestion on that north side of the map.
I am a little surprised that Dragons didn't prio World's Edge a bit earlier, because I think they're actually the most map-dependent team that we have here. 60% of their points coming from World's Edge. Countdown's not a bad POI, but I did think that with all those teams going Storm Point early, that maybe they would try to lean towards World's Edge because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that they just are feeling much more confident on that.
That's true.
It's that World's Edge doesn't matter nearly as much to them because they feel like they can play out of multiple POIs. I think as a general note on World's Edge, I'm surprised to see Mirage Etoile having fallen so far. Not in necessarily on this land specifically, but in this land contrasted with other lands. I feel like Mirage Etoile was historically a much more prioritized POI, and we're not seeing people go for either that or staging. To see that on the same level as something like Geyser is really weird to me.
I mean, this whole idea that you guys are describing too is trying to get into the mind of how these players determine what is the best use of my resources. Do I go for a position on a map that I feel really confident in, or do I allow my confidence in that area to then let me flex so that I can get something that's going to make me feel confident on something that I probably wouldn't like to do normally. You know, if you look at it like studying for a test, if you're great at writing essays, but you're not great at the multiple choice portion, are you going to like not write your essay well and focus on the multiple choice? You're going to lean into, well, let me write a killer essay and we'll see how multiple choice goes.
I do want to bring up real quick, Energy Bank just got selected by Crazy Raccoon. Dia, you and I were talking about that yesterday. They were heavily prioritizing E-District. Obviously, in this set, we're only getting 2 games, but that's their last pick. Energy Bank, not a bad POI by any means, but do you think that maybe this is them trying to overcome the deficiencies in the other 2 maps, or what do you think about the fact that they took this in the last pick?
Weirdly, the only thing that I can think of for Energy Bank is that they're trying to go as north as possible to rotate out quickly, because otherwise, if it's a play style thing and you'd rather just play from the edge, I'd much rather them go Old Town. I didn't think that TSM was playing poorly from Old Town at all. I think you've got good opportunities to fight teams nearby, so I'm personally surprised to see them go Energy Bank, not necessarily because it's a bad POI, but because it's a POI that leans a lot more heavily into zone teams. I think Cloud9 actually used it pretty well.
Sure, but what are your thoughts on the fact that once again, we talked about this, in groups, they were taking it 3rd overall, E-District specifically.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that this is now the last round for them, and then they went over to E-District?
Sorry. I misunderstood the question.
That was great, though, on the Energy Bank side.
Thanks. I don't know what to make of that. I'm formulating an opinion as I speak, but I think that it must be a function of the lower playtime.
Right.
I think that they're probably doing the same thing that we do on the desk, but just to a greater degree, where they go, okay, well, we're not going to be playing it very much, so we're not going to prioritize it.
Sure.
Because otherwise, I mean, E-District has been working out for them relatively well, perhaps just not in as disproportionate a manner as that it would make sense to prioritize the 2 maps.
Yeah, and maybe it does come down to the fact that, like you said earlier with Dragons, maybe they just feel confident on E-District. They feel like 48% of their points are coming from that map, so maybe they want to kind of balance that out with the fact that we do have 3 games being played on the other 2.
It could also be, I mean, this is something that, you know, is it that 40% are coming off because that's how good they are? Or are they prioritizing that map, and that's why they're getting into good positions to get the majority of their points? If they do not prioritize it now, like they're taking with their 3rd pick, it could be that Storm Point and World's Edge are where the majority of the points come in this next lobby. And that could have been a conversation with the coach saying, guys, we're not going to do it on just Energy District. Now we only have 2 games there. We have got to somehow find points on these other maps. So let's prioritize that.
It's a tough time to find out if you don't know, right? Like, I mean,
True.
if they know, if they in scrims are like, okay, well, we're just playing this map better than other people, so we can shift to Energy or E District last, then great. But if right now they're going, well, maybe it is that's the case, I wouldn't want to be finding out right now. I would much rather have seen Crazy Raccoon pick E District early, but that's because I actually feel like, despite the fact that they're in Elim round 2, that what Crazy Raccoon has been doing has mostly been working. I think it's been a tough day for them, but we could easily have seen them move up to the next round.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know, recent issues that have happened with Crazy Raccoon, from not qualifying in Split 2 and then obviously getting here and now being in elimination round 2. I could say that it's going to take a lot of confidence for them to push through this moment. But if they can, I think that confidence gets right back to them. They are champions. They are winners of Split 1. And so getting back to the big show is certainly something they're capable of. But I could see that if this goes poorly, it would be difficult mentally for them. And they're trying to avoid that as best they can.
At the same time, they've actually been in this moment before. I think back to Champs last year. In the final game of Losers Round 2, they narrowly missed out. They finished in 11th.
Yeah.
And so they've experienced that pain, and in that moment, the ultimate problem was they weren't aggressive enough. They had a really good spot, and they won the final game.
Right.
But they weren't aggressive enough. They didn't get enough KP to get them through into 10th. And so I do think that they understand that pain. They understand what it's like to miss out in that moment, and I'm thinking they're probably going to adjust, and I don't think they'll make the same mistake.